Despite Governor Dannel Malloy's big plans for education reform, some of the state's top performing schools would still get fewer state dollars than other public schools.
You see, the state's charter schools are also public schools, but they get less funding. News 8's chief political correspondent Mark Davis following the developments live from our Hartford newsroom tonight. Mark?
Hi, Keith and Ann. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. Everyone wants to close the so-called achievement gap. But what about the funding gap?
It would be a direct object, but we have a linking verb there. Very good.
This is an 8th grade class at the Jamoke School in Hartford, one of the state's 17 charter schools in Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport, and Stamford. 6,000 kids go to these schools every day. There are at least 7,000 on waiting lists to get in on the yearly lottery for spots.
They came to a consensus, an agreement.
100% of the kids in the 8th grade here are proficient in math, 94% in reading, 96% in writing. Like most of the other charter schools, students here are among the highest performing in the state.
There's a light bulb that is just shining at Jamoke, and that was immediately apparent when we left the traditional public school setting.
Yet despite all this good news, the state spends almost $5,000 a year less per student here than for other public schools.
You think if you followed, sort of a business model of things that are working, that are successful, you want to fund it so that you expand the opportunity for kids to have a higher learning.
As part of his reforms, Governor Malloy is proposing that the charter schools get a funding hike of $2,000 per student. Parents and students from charter schools came to the Capitol today to thank him for the gesture. Success stories were everywhere.
My reading and writing weren't so good, but once I came to Common Ground, they put me in programs to help me with those and to make sure they're up to the level they're supposed to be.
And now you're accepted at how many colleges?
3 so far.
He's going off to college in the fall, and he feels more confident in his abilities after being at Achievement First and receiving the support that he does with the charter school classroom.
Now, even if Governor Malloy's proposal gets the green light and is fully approved, these charter schools would still be receiving over $1,000 less per student than other public schools. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.